Hello, my name is Kyler Bills, and I'm going to be talking today about mental health in teenagers and why we need to be taking it more seriously. First off, I'd like to take a second of your time to tell my own personal story. I remember the day like it was yesterday, January 14th, 2019. I was gearing up to wrestle, just a routine wrestling match. This was my junior year of high school. Things were going good. I come from a wrestling family, so my participation and my excellence in that sport means a lot to me. I was projected to go to state, and we had 1 week until the postseason. We were wrestling Snyder High School in just a regular duel, and I didn't think much of it. It was a match I should have won and shouldn't have been much trouble. And about 30 seconds into the match, I hear a pop in my left knee, or my right knee, sorry. And come to find out that it was a subluxation of my LCL, which is the ligament that holds my kneecap into place. And I didn't think too much of it. I've been in a lot of situations like this similar situation where I just had to take time off and then I could participate in the postseason. And through many doctor's appointments and MRIs, I still felt very confident coming into my last appointment. At that appointment, the orthopedist at that time, he told me that my season was basically over, that the ligament that holds my kneecap into place was shredded to the bone. It wasn't necessarily from that injury, but repeated injuries. And at that point, I didn't think too much of it. I thought it was just my physical health that was coming down and derailing, but I was to find out that it was my mental health as well. And for the next year, with COVID and rehabbing my injury, I saw my mental health derail. I was always the guy who likes to put smiles on each other's faces and in a way save people. You don't know what's going on at home for them. So to make somebody smile and laugh and have a good time was always a purpose that I tried to bring into school. However, at that point, I didn't realize that it was me who needed saving. So for the next couple of years, and even this battle that I'm still fighting today, because it's not a battle that you can just win. Mental health is something that is, constant. You have to keep working at it. For the next couple of years, I just pretended to be someone that I wasn't, hiding my true feelings and my true self. And that's what a lot of people with mental health deal with these days. They're scared to speak up, and it's hard for them to let other people know their true selves, so they hide it and they pretend to be someone else. A statistic done by the National Network of Depression is that depression is the leading cause of disability from ages 15 to 44. And when you think about that, the age of 44 for teenagers and young adults doesn't necessarily strike you, but from ages 15 to 24, when we're in school and we graduate, depression is rising and mental health is declining in us. So we really do need to start taking this more seriously. But therapy is always something that people look at as a solution. A lot of people who aren't very educated on it think they can just send you to therapy, and it's just that easy. You go to therapy and you're fixed, to say. But therapy, kids are scared to go to therapy. They're scared to open up about their mental illness, scared to reveal that side of themselves. Another statistic from the CDC is that only 19.2% of adults get therapy and reach out. And I think this is where, as a school system and as peers, we need to do a better job. We need to push therapy and advocate for it more. In high school, they came on the PA once every 2 months saying, we have counselors available for you. But teachers would discipline their students for sleeping in, missing homework assignments, and acting out. And they looked at that as laziness and just bad character. That was when I realized that mental health truly was an issue in the country we live in, and it really opened my eyes to it, because in my experience, those kids don't need discipline. They need saving, in a way, and they need help. So, as a result of this, and my solution to this, we need to reach out to our friends, our students more. You can see these people who are smiling and walking around campus having a great time, but in reality, they could be fighting true demons in their life, but they just don't open up to it because nobody asks them. Sometimes it's the strongest people that you don't expect, and I think we need to start doing a better job of doing so and reaching out to them. An example of this is another recollection of my personal life. My best friend from high school, best friend of 5 years, reached out to me this year about his mental health struggles. Someone who I never necessarily thought would go through that, and it was almost hypocritical of me to think that. He opened up to me because he knew I had struggled with depression before, and he reached out, and it was a text that I'll never forget. At any point, if some things get weird or you want to step out, that's totally fine, because it can be hard to talk about. He reached out and sent me a text asking if I ever thought about ending my own life. And for me, that was blindsiding. Somebody who I looked up to as a mentor and my best friend, to hear that from him, it shocked me, and it made me wonder what I didn't do, what I should have done, why didn't I pay more attention. And we talked about it for a long time, and we reached out to each other, and we've been there for each other. And since then, he's gone to therapy, and we're fighting this battle with each other. Another statistic that I have is only 7.7 million teenagers who suffer from mental illness, they don't go see any therapist, don't reach out for any sort of help, and they suffer alone. And I think that speaks volumes, because so many of our students and our friends just don't feel the need to say anything. It could be your best friend, like it was for me, and he just didn't feel the need to say anything, and he would rather suffer alone than taint his perception of you in the public's eyes. So I think that that's something that we really need to change. There's a quote that I love, and I found it on TikTok. It's pretty funny, and that's not funny, but the way I found it, and the quote is, "It's okay to not be okay, but it's never okay to suffer alone." And that leads me to my call of action. I have a petition, and this is more of a commitment than a petition. I want anybody who's willing to accept the challenge to sign this petition to commit to take mental health more seriously for your friends, your students. Professor Oliver, I challenge you to notice the little things in the students, to not call them out because of bad behavior, but to be there and to open yourself into their life and walk in their shoes. And for the students, to start checking in on your friends more, even if they're doing fine, to not just take that surface level question and check in on them, but actually dig deep and find out what is truly going on with them. I think mental health is declining because people are scared to reach out and get therapy, but they're sick of pretending that they're okay. But if you continue to pretend and let all this bottle up, eventually it's going to fall apart. And as a person who has dealt with it myself and is currently dealing with it, I don't want to sit here and let people keep throwing away their lives and struggling alone. So that's why I call for each and every one of you to start taking this more seriously. This battle cannot be easily won, but it's easier with help. We can change this world, but we have to change it together. Please help yourselves and help others. Thank you.